The next person we are having, and the last invitee speaker for the Vedic Wisdom Festival in the 5th edition, is by no means the least. I'm talking about Ravi Sam. Ravi Sam is a leading industrialist in Coimbatore and a philanthropist who hails from a successful industrial family. He's a commerce graduate and holds postgraduate diploma in Textile Technology from the University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology. He's the managing director of Adwaith Lakshmi Industries Private Limited and Adwaith Textiles Private Limited, and he's on the board of other companies as well. He's the founder trustee of Siruthuli, the movement for preservation of water bodies in Coimbatore, which is a famed public movement of the state. As a vivid social thinker, he's actively involved in various social welfare activities. Mr. Ravi Sam is a passionate philanthropist. He administers a Vedic school, the Vedapatashala, in a serene gurukulam environment. This school has 50 students in the age group of 7 to 15 years, focusing on the propagation of Vedic culture, and adopts the traditional guru-shishya teaching style, and has the temple of God Sri Annapoorneswari in its campus. As a philanthropist, he continues to inspire people across society and remains a strong source of inspiration for the next generation entrepreneurs. He is the founder, trustee, and correspondent of Sri Gopal Naidu School, correspondent of Adwaith Thought Academy, and an active trustee of the Shruti Seva Trust, Anaikatti. His interest in heritage conservation has led to the establishment of South India Art and Heritage Conservation Trust, an institution that adopts temples across the country, renovates them to preserve their original glory and identity. Mr. Ravi holds several coveted positions. He is the chairperson of the academic wing of Academy of Archaeology and Ancient Sciences of India, which is a part of REACH, which is Rural Education and Conservation of Heritage Foundation. He is the past chairman of CII Tamil Nadu, at present chairman of CII Subcommittee on Sustainability, CSR, and Affirmative Action to bring inclusiveness to the marginalized sectors of our society, covering all the 6 southern states, and also chairman of the Southern India Mills Association, SEMA. Welcome, Mr. Ravi Sam.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you very much.
Well, the first record, Ravi, you have broken, is that this is the most illustrious introduction I have made in this Vedic Wisdom Festival of the 5th edition of the Vedic Wisdom Festival. And one of the reasons I want to tell everybody why Mr. Ravi Sam is on the board of speakers for the 5th edition is because he's a very, very astute student of Vedanta. And he too has been a student of Pujya Swamiji. So in the beginning, I'd like to ask Ravi, tell us about your journey into Vedanta. When did it start, and what sort of drew you towards this knowledge? What made you get into this in the first place?
First, my pranams to Swamiji, I think. If it was not for him, I wouldn't have been here on this program. I think he was quite insistent I should be talking today. Anyway, and I think I should probably say my connections with him goes from very long time when he was still in white. I think as a brahmachari, I think I've been having many years of connection. I think that was the reason, and it was very nice getting in touch with him. And like I told you earlier, I don't speak about this Adhyatma and the spiritual, I think, part of your life is a very private thing. You don't talk about it on stage, and you really don't talk about it or boast about it. And that's how I think we're all brought up. And I would say one thing is an experience on this and spiritual upliftment is something very individual. I think two people can't have the same experience, even though you're at the same place at the same time. It's absolutely not possible. And so whatever little I can share, I'm surely, because you want me to talk, I will say, and probably if it helps somebody, great. Otherwise, it was wonderful that I was with all of you. To start with, for the question that you asked me, basically, I would say the reason why we got into this is I grew up in a household where puja was priority. Basically, because my mother was the head of the household. My father passed away when I was 3 years old. So I think the problems that a human being faces at that stage when you're in your 30s or 35s, you have become a widow, and then you have to run businesses, take care of family. I think it really, and again, the house was already geared into this karma kanda part of it. Puja was very, very important. In the house, there was daily puja, weekly puja, and the annual pujas. So I think this was one of the main reasons that it was something we accepted. We were never asked or forced to do anything. It just happened in the house. If we are around, they will always come and announce there is puja aarti, please come down. So we used to come down, get the prasada. There were always wonderful things to eat in the evening. So after the puja, the prasadas were in a South Indian household, prasadas never end. It is every day there is something, it goes on and on and on. We got those prasadas, and that's how, and anything, however small it might be, at that stage, it was passing a school exam or a test, and then went on to later, was always going into that puja room and praying to the deity and saying, oh, I want to pass, I want to do this. And that became ingrown, and I think it's gone up to my own children today. Although it was never forced, it's never been forced. They just come and it's standard. Okay, Papa, I'm sick, please do a puja. This is how it goes. Or Papa, I want something, please pray. And so this, I think, is something that we have thanked to my mother, who I think brought us into this. Basically, I would say any family or anywhere, if we want this to happen, it is, I think, we who have to put this system in. It cannot be forced. If we keep doing it, people just watch it. When something is forced, today's generation will not accept it. So I think it's just that it happens around the house. They just see it. It just gets into your system, and it really, really helps you in the long term. And I can tell you, whatever I do, whatever everyday's problems I face, this has really helped me. And then that's how I think we got into this whole thing. And at that stage, I think earlier in my stage, I used to go, my cousin was very, very involved with the ashram, with this senior Swami Chinmayananda. And those were the days when they used to have this big Bhagavad Gita yajnas. And because my cousin was involved, we were just taken there to these big pandals to just hang around there. We knew nothing. It was that we have to be there because the family involvement. So we used to go there, and the end of it, in the evening, we used to come back home. Later on, I got to meet I think it was a chance meeting in my school vacations. I got to meet the senior acharya of Kanchi, not knowing who he was. I thought it was some man with saffron clothes just sitting in the temple. I had no idea, and then came to know through my mother that he was somebody very, very important in this spiritual field. Got to know him, and later on, his Shishya, Swami Jayendra Saraswati, who literally, again, chance meeting, and decided that he has to take care of me and the whole thing. As far as the Karma Kanda was done, ritual, Upadesha, Puja was all taught, and once you get to Puja and ritual, it never ends. It is continuous. In a Hindu household, there's Puja Vrata every day, including today is Ekadasi, we are fasting again. So this sort of thing doesn't end. It goes on and on and on. So it never ends. So it just happened, and then I think it was my mother and my cousin who was in the ashram, who were very involved in the ashram, said, now we have to take him out of this Karma Kanda, and we should probably put him on the right track. And I remember my first trip, I came to Hawaii, and I was with Puja Swamiji. I was staying there. I remember the 3 cottages, and one cottage was there, his courtyard, and I used to stay there in hot summer, sitting there and under those fans. I don't know how we managed it. And that's when my initial exposure to Swamiji. And I mean, there can't be anybody like Swamiji. How easily he takes you through, and that too, if you're somebody new and a youngster, he really makes you feel wanted, and it really went through the whole thing. Some Prakarnaganta, some Stotra, some Sloka. He was just teaching, and that's how I got involved with Vedanta. And one thing Swamiji always used to say, and then later on, Swamiji started spending a lot of time in Coimbatore. And evening after lectures, satsang used to be there. There'd be lovely food for dinner, and then satsang used to be there. We'd sit and listen, and Swamiji always used to question, answer. It was amazing that the connect we got there the evening and sitting in the gardens of my cousin's house and then talking. And that's where I think Swami also would remember. He used to sit there and we'd all be sitting there and talking. And one thing he told me that don't worry. I mean, I know you cannot keep coming to all talks and lectures because I know you have to run all your business affairs, but keep coming whenever you can. Just keep coming. And the rest you will understand. I said, how is that possible? I could come one lecture in 10 days. How will I understand the remaining 9 talks? He just said, do it. Just do it, you will understand. And I think that's how I started putting time in, and it was amazing. And this every day I talk about it, I realize how I missed those other 9 days, and I should have really put in more effort to meet him on those 9 days as well, not just the 10th day. And that's how Vedanta started. And then my pujas were going on. And one day I remember very well, one day I was just sitting somewhere in a puja in the Kanchimat. Swami was just, Shankaracharya was just coming and said, come here. And he said, he was upset on something, on some political thing. He just called for me. Doing pujas, do you think it will help? I said, yes, it will help. He said, no, do puja, yes, you will. But will it help you? What will it help you? I said, we'll get Atma Jnana, we'll get Moksha. I said, nothing, you will not get anything like that. And there'll be a time when I've been doing puja and you'll be sitting. That's all, there'll be 2 of us only here. Otherwise, the whole dharma will go. We have to come out, the 2 things. Families, all of you all should come out and help the society. Come out and help the society. Other thing, I have to study. There is no other way than studying Shastra and getting Jnana. The only way is studying Vedanta, Adwaith Vedanta and getting Moksha. Otherwise, nothing else will help. It was such a shock to me because till then I thought puja was the ultimate. And then that's all. I woke up one day, the rest is. And I even told Swamiji that he said, Swamiji, I remember Swamiji saying, Papa, Apriya Sanara, Amma, Apriya Sanar Swamiji. Sorry, because at that time, it was at early time, the institution, when, there was always restrictions. So everybody's being taught Vedanta, women are studying Shastra, and all these sort of orthodox ideas were there going. But when this happened and I was told this, I think it was like everywhere there's a change, and they've realized this is what is required. That's all.
Great to hear that. You spoke so much about Pujya Swamiji, and I could see a lot of love and respect in your voice when you spoke about him. Tell us a little more about your interaction with him, and if you can remember some anecdote or incident which sort of left a mark in your life, or I mean, just meeting him once will leave a mark in your life. I know that, but
I don't know. There's so many things. Suddenly, I don't. When I'm talking to somebody, some things come up, but otherwise, and the rest of it is just the blur. It just disappears because I always every day when I used to go there after the lecture, he would see me, and there'll be sent word that as soon as the lecture is over, I should walk away. I should see him. I should come to the room. So every single lecture, it was like this. And then later on, when he started growing older, he used to say, "Hold me." We used to make this mandatory walks. And when I'm walking with him, holding him, he always asks me, first question is, Acharya Lapatya. That is, did you see the Shankaracharya? When did you meet him last? How is he? What is this? That was his first question. I said, yeah, this. We used to talk about issues and what I would feel was right and wrong. But he used to always say, no, this is how it is. They have to do it this way. And it was amazing. And then when I think certain things, which was one of the things that really struck me, is I was to talk to him about the other fields of knowledge, with Adwaith and all that. And when Swami, one clear thing I think which we all have to say is, he said one thing which stuck to me so well. He said, Shankara's knowledge system is so complete. It's so complete you can't add or delete even one word. You just have to speak it the way it is. You can't even put one word, one alphabet inside. And that is how I think Swamiji taught. And he said the main reasons for these other schools of thought coming up is people who were teaching had no clue of what they were teaching, and they put their own 2-bit into it. And when you put their 2-bit into it, it is subject to question. And that could be easily questioned, and that could be totally, you could win the debate or do whatever it was those time. And when he was talking to me, this was subject to, we were even talking about Acharya Ramanuja. And he said, Ramanuja is a great, great learned person. But somebody like that Yadav Prakasha or something who was teaching him, he was not fully there. He said, he should have fully studied Shankara's, the way Shankara said, not put his bit. We don't have had this. But when he put his own story, it is subject to question. That's why I always keep saying, Acharya Shankara's Bhashya as it is. And that's how Swami spoke. Swamiji never added anything to it. And with all of you all, I'm sure, you have seen that a same subject taken in the next one session, that is in one 3-year course, and the next 3-year course, the same subject came. It was the whole talk had improved so much more. It was so much more added to it. And the knowledge system just kept increasing. That is not how he was presenting it. It was amazing that it's such a complete knowledge that no way there can be anything that can be doubted or questioned. If you listen to one of his talk, it's enough. You will know that you can't, I don't know, you have to listen to it and then understand what he's talking about. If you have not listened to Swamiji's talk, please listen to it. And because today it's available on all based systems. This is how I went, and I think the one thing that really hit me and strong was when Swamiji's one word, he said, easy, all Nama Rupas are Ishvara Ravi. That's it. Don't question anything more. All names and forms are God. And when that is what we have as motto in all our companies, we put it up in the front and we say, everybody understand this. And then you become a better human being. You start realizing what it is. And this, all doubt is clear. So this is what I think really took me to Swamiji.
So tell me, Ravi, so much of understanding. You said you put up this board in front of your company, etc.
Yeah, I think we even made one. This one for even Anakati. I think it is. I think everything is easy. I will put in as well. Yeah.
So as an industrialist, an entrepreneur, and running so many companies, being in industry bodies, how has this knowledge helped you in the commercial world? How has it helped you in the commercial world?
Commercial world, I don't know, but in my day-to-day life, it has. There's not a day when there is stress. For every human being, there is stress. There's nothing that is fully perfect, that you start the day and by the end of the day, by the evening, if somebody has it like that, they're really blessed. There is more things going wrong than that's going right. And every single day, you have to be there to set things. Otherwise, I guess you might not be needed no more, and then they can run it without you. But at that juncture, yes, I also go through the same pressure. I do get worked up, but it takes me a few minutes to come back, to recollect myself, get back to myself. I'm able to face the situation very well. I sometimes understand that I'm not reacting the way I should react. And even at home, they say, how the hell are you so cool? Look at what's happening. You're sitting down saying this. I said, what can we do? We just have to sit back and let's see what can be done. Just think how to do it. But I think this attitude of taking yourself out of the problem. Initially, yes, for every human being, you will react. But then get out of the problem as soon as possible. It's easier, and I think you're able to make better decisions. You make a better human being. You have to live life better. I think in every area, it's not just industry, right? From home to whatever. And I think this is really helped. I think it was not for Vedanta Shastra. I don't think it is possible to take this attitude.
So Ravi, a lot of the people listening to Vedic Wisdom Festival and listening to you today are from Bombay.
Okay.
And you know, life in Bombay, right? There's no time for anything. Your life is decided by train timings. 7:56 in the morning, or the 6:43 in the evening. You got to get back home, and it's like you're on a treadmill. So very often the pushback is, I'm working, I'm busy, I got a role as a housewife, etc. And still I want to pursue Vedanta. It's always there's always, sometimes it gets deprioritized. So, I mean, when I look at your kind of positions that you hold, and the industry bodies you represent, and the philanthropy that you do, and your own organization that you run, Where do you find the time to even devote to Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads, or how do you prioritize it? How do you tell yourself that this is important and find time for it?
What happens now is every Wednesday I have, we do a Zoom every Wednesday on Thursday, 3 o'clock every Wednesday. If my minute Wednesday, it's Thursday, just to keep studying. I keep studying. It's whether it is even if it is playing chanting or doing whatever, we keep do that sort of a touch. I do find. I know it is difficult to text, but the very fact that you have such an intense desire to know Shastra, I think there will be a way that you will find. I don't know how it is going to happen, but it will happen. If you have such an intense desire, you will find time. There will be a way it will happen. It's not something that you just want to do because everybody is doing, but the desire is so intense, you will find time. Now, I tell you, there are days at the end, I do not even know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and where I'm coming. I just have these umpteen cups of coffee with people I don't want to see. When I spend time in their office with, I'm knowing fully well the hours I spend is just going through 1 year and coming out of the other year. And they're not going to know a damn thing about what I am spending and time in presenting these papers to. But with all that, the only thing that I keep getting back is this. And if you have such intense desire, I'm telling you, I really will tell you, you will get that knowledge from sources which you don't even expect. You will start meeting people on the same wavelength. You will start seeing things. You will start getting whatever material that you need. And then that effort has to keep on. You can't just say, oh, I did that, and then it's over. Yes, I have given up many things. When everybody used to go to maybe it's a big holiday or an excursion or a picnic, I would have to stay back because it was Navratri. I would just have to give up everything and say, well, I'm missing. And there was to be a meeting with the chief minister. I would have to stay back because it was Janmashtami or something. I used to do all these things. I used to give it up, saying, doesn't matter. That was my priority, was this, not the other one. And when it was meeting Swamiji, I would know that I would be missing out something in the family. I would be cursed for it. But I used to go to the talk. And you will face those situations, but it is, I think, for you to decide which is more priority. And how do you time? I do, even now, I have most of Swami's talks on iPods or on long flights. I plug myself. I keep repeating because never can you say you're completely studied. When you finish the talk, you realize that first is forgotten. And I go back to keep telling me so that I at least pick up for my own self. It's not for anything else. So I keep going back, going to particular talk, get back. This I keep doing on my flights, sometimes in the car. When I'm sitting alone, I just plug myself on my headphones and keep listening to it. That's the only thing I do. But intense desire, I can tell you, anybody who has that intense desire will tell you where the way means this knowledge comes. You won't believe it.
So, Ravi, if you have some youngsters to address, and you're talking to a group of young people who are not very interested at this time, Vedanta is not top of mind for them, other priorities in life, they've just got married, or they're just going to have children, or they're going to get married. So I'm talking about, let's say, a group of 25 to, let's say, 30 or 35 kind of people, youngsters. What will you say to them will be the payoff of learning this fantastic knowledge? What will you say to them in your experience in life?
I wouldn't speak to them unless they have an intense desire to know Vedanta. I will not speak to them. And I pretend I am as dumb as anybody else. Must be one of these party guys, or just doing nothing, or one business fellow who has no clue, because I will not talk to them, because it would be a personal waste of time. But if they do have intense desire and that they really want to know, then there's a lot we can talk about, because I don't talk. Even so many people in my family, I just don't talk because there's no point. I mean, they might be forced to listen because I am talking, but it doesn't make a sense. And I guess unless they want, and they want to meet, and they want to sit and talk, I think there are many things we can talk about. Those sort of people, because they're already committed. Otherwise, I mean, you would probably even see it today. I mean, I keep down in my backyard is Isha Foundation, I see the type of youngsters that are turning up there. It's incredible. They all have intense longing to learn and know. But unfortunately, that's what I used to tell Puja Swamiji, or tell the Acharyas, or orthodox institutions or great teaching areas somehow has not attracted them, because they find it a bit, restrictive to get in there. So they have moved to this, at least they are here. But once they are here, I think the next stage is they will move to the complete pure knowledge, because at least the foundation is set. And I'm sure many of them will be studying Advaita Vedanta in proper Sampradaya as years go by. And so that intense earning, if there is, yes, those people worthwhile talking. Others, if it's just something that's going to be an evening cocktail meet discussion, I refuse from. I will not tell you.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Ravi. I know how I had to chase you down
Yes.
and how Swamiji had to make that call to you. So
it was nice getting in touch with Swami after years. I think he would know how we used to be there, sitting at the back benches and talking and chatting and not listening to talks.
Yeah. So I think one backbencher wants to talk to you. So Swamiji, over to you.
Sir, it's a great pleasure to have you here today.
Swami, nice to meet you.
When you came into the ashram, I met Swamiji. I was a student there.
Yes.
I think we got to know each other only when I used to come to Coimbatore with Puja.
Yes, Sunita Ma's house. Yes.
And we used to stay in the guest house there, or sometimes if you're a big number, we would be in the guest house. Just one or two of us, we would be with Sunita. And I know one thing for sure. If Ravi Sam was not an industrialist, he would have been a Vedanta teacher.
I wish I was. I really wish.
Yes, I know that. You know how I know that. That's something I'll reveal about you publicly, okay? You've been very resistant about yourself. Years ago, when I used to come to Coimbatore, your mom and your aunt were actually worried that you'll become a full-timer.
Yes. Yes.
And they were asking me, can you speak to him? I said, how am I going to speak to him? Because I'm a full-timer myself. Am I going to ask a committed learner to not join up? And I told them that, hey, he's a responsible young man. He'll understand that he has to take up that industry and run it. His father is not there. If he doesn't run it, people will be on the, families will be affected. The larger picture, and being the head of a business gives you elbow room to find time to do this learning. And I know in the first two courses, practically there for every one of Swamiji's. Yeah, because some of my friends, students, they're part of that course. Yeah. So that's a loss to Vedanta teachers. But at the same time, you're doing great work in terms of supporting so many dharmic institutions. That's a great. You have the freedom to do it, the mind to do it. So that's great. And I think it's been a long journey. Both of us met when we were very young. I must have been 8 to 10 years older than you.
Long time ago, Swami.
Long time ago. In the late 70s onwards.
Yes, one.
It's good. You have grown old, but you have grown old in Vedanta. That's great.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Ravi ji. It was a pleasure chatting. It was a pleasure, and I'm so happy that we chased you and got you to do this talk. And I'm sure every one of us who attended this, all of us who attended this, have really learned how to straddle the world that you're running now, and to be a committed Vedanta student. So it's been an interesting and a very useful talk for us. Thank you so much, Ravi, and we will catch up soon.
To add one thing, my idea of asking you to speak was so that many of our people who are struggling with the same thing of balancing work and the study of Vedanta, how do they do it? He said that, oh, here is a person who has done it. Let him tell his story. And you made one of the most important points. If you have the desire to do it, you'll find the time.
Yes, 100%. It comes, the knowledge comes from various places.
It worked out for us. It worked out for so many of the other teachers who were there. So why should it not work out for anyone else?
No. Thank you, Swami. Thank you, Swami, for having me. Thank you so much, Swami. I really miss, these are the days when I miss Puji Swamiji. Anyway, that's really.
When I connected with the old devotees, I feel like, okay, we are all the same, like when Puji Swamiji was there.
Yeah, of course. And anyway, wish the whole program success. Is I the last speaker or is there somebody else?
Yes, you are. Yes,
Thank you. Bye.
Right.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you so much.